What's up, you guys? It's your boy, ItsGippetto here. Another video, another day. Go ahead and subscribe right now. Have you guys subscribed? You told your moms about me? You told your homies, your homegirls? Go ahead, man. I'm trying to make all these videos for you. You guys said you want the videos, I'm making them. Okay, so this video, again, is me trying to inspire people, and a lot of people have questions. Now, I'm currently in school. I'm graduating in December, thank God. And a lot of older people, and I'm not saying necessarily older like 30s, 40s, no shade to the people in their 30s and 40s. But let's just say you've never been to college, or you are in your like mid-20s and you're thinking about finishing your degree. You're like, what would it be like to be a non-traditional student? And should I even go to college? So here's the journey of myself personally. Now, when I first moved to Georgia, I was in an R&B group. Yeah, your boy was singing. And when you're pursuing a career in entertainment, it's so sporadic and there's no kind of like safety net. So it felt like when I was working in the music industry, songwriting and all this stuff, I was getting like 5 steps ahead and then like 2 steps back. It seems like I never was fully getting to where I needed to go to. So a couple years passed by, and when I would be in studios, I would always be around rappers who were like 38, 40 years old, 45 years old, talking about, yeah man, I'm about to get this record deal and boom, boom, boom. And I was like scared, and I was like, I do not want to be a 40-year-old saying that he wants to be a rapper. No shade to the 40-year-old rappers using this. Please don't leave me a hate comment. I love your music. Shout outs to you. But anyway, one of my mentors at the time, he told me, he's like, yo, I really feel like you should go ahead and go to school. And I was just like, I always wanted to go to school. I was always good at school or whatnot, but I just felt like I don't have time. I'm really trying to, strike while the iron is hot while I'm doing this entertainment thing. And then finally, I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to try to go to school. At the time, me and my mom weren't really getting it along. So when I went to school, they all turned me down because they said that I would need a co-signer because I was still considered a dependent. Even though I had been living by myself since I was 18, I was still considered a dependent. And like I said, me and my mom wasn't really getting along, so she wasn't gonna co-sign no loans and all that stuff for me. So I waited. I tried to go back again, same thing. So then I finally asked one of the financial advisors at the school. I was like, what's happening? So she said, well, if you wait till you're like 24, you can apply for everything on your own and get your own loans and so forth. So I was just like, man, I gotta wait. And that even turned me off even more. So I was like, yeah, man, I'll just go to school whenever the case may be. And I was just literally working a regular job, going to the studio at night or just trying to network and all this stuff. And I just felt stuck. I had just written a jingle for this radio commercial. Me and the producer I was working at the time, we got a little bit of money, and I felt like Georgia, where I currently live, was holding me back. So I said, you know what? I'm about to move to California. I'm about to go. All my friends are popping in California. I'm just leaving Georgia. And again, my mentor, he was like, my brother, before you are too intelligent to not have a college degree. And let me back it up and say this. That was always an insecurity of mine because I'm very intelligent and I've had numerous jobs. And when I would be having a conversation with somebody, they'll be like, yeah, what college did you go to? You're so smart. And I would always be kind of insecure, and I'd be like, well, yeah, I didn't go to college. And I would always get that look. Even sometimes, like when I would go in for an interview, they would be like, hey, no college? And I'd be like, yeah, no. And I was always kind of low-key embarrassed about it. Even though I had a lot of work experience, I always kind of felt low-key embarrassed and insecure about it. So finally, my mentor was like, yo, I really feel like you need to go ahead and get your degree before you leave to go to California to pursue your dreams. So I sat down, I thought about it, and I was just like, I finally said, screw it. let me go ahead and go to school. But since I had been out of high school for a number of years, guess what? I had to take all the testing again, all of the testing, which I was not happy about. So I literally, in the school I ended up choosing, they had like, I think a 2-week window. And they was like, you gotta come take this test within these 2 weeks because to qualify for the fall semester. So I'm like Googling all these little like tests, prep stuff to try to get back. So I took the test. I did extremely well on it. The math section, I didn't do as high as I would like. So even though I was accepted into school, they pretty much were kind of suggesting that I took like a high school level math, like the entering math. I was like, what? I said, no, I would just come back and take it. And then my advisor at the time, she was like, look, I know so much people who come to college, they go and take college level pre-cal or algebra or whatever the case may be, and they end up failing. So she said, I would rather you go and take this class to refresh, because she's like, you've been out of school for a couple of years. It's naturally everything isn't like firing off right now. So I thought about it and I had to humble myself and I went back and I did it. So I entered school in 2013, and being, I guess, older than some of the other students, because even though I was still in my 20s with some of the other students, I just noticed that the maturity level and the drive level was totally different. So low-key, I was like a nerd, a kiss ass if you even, in the class, and because of how I look, a lot of students assumed I was like around their age. So even like when I was in class, they would be like, hey, what dorms do you stay? What building do you stay in? And I'll be like, yo, I don't live on campus. So then it was like, oh, he got money or his family got money. But I didn't really reveal my age to a lot of people because I was just like, I'm a grown ass man, dog. I'm a grown ass man. I ain't got to tell you youngins, whatever. But I just noticed that when you're older, a non-traditional student in college, your drive is a little bit more there than the younger kids. The younger kids are like, you know, hey, they're young. The 17, 18, 19-year-olds, they're typically like, yo, I just want to smoke, I want to drink, I want to go hook up. I'll skip class for 2 or 3 weeks. And me, I was at class every day, taking notes, you know, visiting my professor in the office. And I remember this one girl I had class with, she was just like, yo, you have to be like the cutest, most fly nerd. And I said, what you trying to say? She said, because you know the answers for the test. I would have never like pictured you to be that type of guy. And I had to break it down. She was 19, so I gave her a pass. I was like, baby girl, you know you have to eventually pay for all this college stuff. So when you are skipping classes, you're not showing up, you're doing bad on tests, you're failing classes, you're wasting your own time. So I'm telling her like, yo, I'm like 4 years older than you, so I really don't have the time to be playing around and skipping and stuff like that. So when you're older in school, your drive is just there a little bit more. And you're not gonna necessarily be discouraged, because I know some older students who I'm friends with. They're like in their late 30s, 40s, and they're like, I hate being in a room with them young people, blah, 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 blah. And I always try to tell them, I was like, look, I'm young too, but I'm just like, look, their drive is just different. Think back to when you were 19 and 20 and you were having fun. And we're all going to college for something different. I might just be going to college for the education and just to get my degree. And these other younger kids, you know, I can't fault them. They are trying to turn up. They're trying to get the full college experience. So I try not to judge. And when I see other non-traditional students, and by the way, a non-traditional student is any student who is over the age of 24 years old attending a college or university. So I'm considered a non-traditional student. I am over the age of 24, but I'm under 30. So I'm not gonna tell y'all how old I am, okay? Y'all too damn nosy. But anyway, so it was just a situation with that. And what I want to encourage everybody to do is that I don't necessarily feel that college is for everybody, because I'm gonna give you an example. When I was growing up, it was this dude in my neighborhood. He literally was probably one of the, I don't want to call somebody dumb. he was not bright at all. Like, I had a class, he was like 3-4 years older than me, and we was in school with him, and he was just like not bright. He never did well on tests, and he never got good grades. And he was cool, but he was like the older cool dude that like everybody kind of knew he wasn't smart, but I guess because he was cool and he had a nice car, he kind of got away with it. There was a lot of people like that I knew who were just like real swaggy in school, but they just weren't bright. They were being held back a lot, and when we were like, let's say 14, they were like 17, and it was just kind of weird. Like, bro, why you still in the 9th grade, fam? Like, that's kind of freaky. But what happened was this one particular dude I knew, he was not good academically. But when I tell you, you put a bike or a car in front of this dude, he could be like, oh yeah, that's the alternator, blah, 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 or that's the such and such gas chamber. And it was like mind blowing, like, yo, you don't know anything about World War II or X plus Y equals whatever, but you know everything is about cars. So I think when you see something like that, you should say, well, okay, this person probably doesn't need to go to a 4-year academic college, but somebody like him needed to go to a trade school and learn everything there is to be about car. And actually he has his like own successful car shop, so I'm very proud of homie. So I don't necessarily feel like college is for everybody, but I do feel like higher education, whether it be a trade school or just something to get certified in, helps, because in this crazy life we live in, you never know what may happen. And I don't necessarily believe in plan Bs, but I believe in paying your bills comfortably while you're trying to get plan A. So to all the older people who are like 24, 25, mid-20s, or even older, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're still kind of debating like, I might be out of touch, I might not relate to the students, it's gonna be hard. Now trust me, college is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially, and the older you get, the more responsibilities you get. So while you're young and you're 19, 20 years old, all you gotta worry about is a pack of gum and your cell phone bill and probably some gas money. But when you become older, you got bills, you got, rent, insurance, this, that, and the third. You might be married, you might have some kids, and it's just more and more and more responsibilities lining up. So I do encourage that you go to school, but go to school at your pace. I know some people who only take 2 classes a semester, and it might take them, 6, 7, 8 years to get their degree, but they're doing it at their pace. And with myself, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to drop out so many times because my story, I'm pursuing a career in entertainment, and I act and I screenwrite and so forth. And it would be days where I would wake up and I had classes, but then I would get an email from a casting director like, hey, can you come audition, or can you be on set for the next 3 days? And I would immediately try to go talk to my professors like, hey, can I give you guys my work ahead of time, or can I delay my midterm? And unfortunately, a lot of college professors will just be like, no, I can't, because if I give you this break, I'm gonna have to give this break to everybody else, and it sucks. So there's a lot of opportunities I had to like let go. And I started to, I'm not gonna lie, I think for the first 2 years of school, I was like hard in the paint, getting it, always on the dean list, always doing well in school. And then about like my 3rd year of college, I started to resent college so much, because I was like, I'm losing money and opportunities being in these classrooms. And then I was just like, man, even with this one professor, what the fuck he know about it? He's just reading from a book. So I started to like be very like judgmental and holding a grudge against school. And I was this close to dropping out, because it was just so much. With the entertainment industry, you kind of had to strike while the iron is hot. And it was just so much opportunities being missed, you guys. I don't even want to name some of the opportunities I had to just pass on, because I was just like, I couldn't get the time off for school, or I didn't make it. I had to go take a test and I didn't make it in time for the audition. It was just like heartbreaking. But just by the grace of God, a couple people in my life just literally just came to me and was like, look, bro, you're almost done. just hold on. You're gonna have your degree and you're gonna be able to inspire people, and you're so talented, you're gonna make it anyway. So I kind of had to bite that bullet and not view opportunities lost as a tragedy, but just be like, hey man, there's gonna be more opportunities for me, because I am very well connected in the industry, and sometimes some of the industry people I'm working with, they even get frustrated with me. They was like, yo, why are you still worrying about school? Like, forget school, come on set. And I'm just like, yo man, I'm really just trying to get this degree, because when I do get married and I have kids, I really would like my kids to go to school and be better than me. If I get my bachelor's and my master's, I want them to go get their doctorate. I want them to be better than me. So this is just a video to encourage everyone to try to go to school. I'm not necessarily saying you have to go to a university or a four-year school. Just try to get certified in something bigger, because college is much more than just a degree. The connections you make in college with your fellow students and your teachers is like unmatched. Some of the people I've met in college, when I get to that big point in my entertainment career, I plan on using them. Like, I know so much people through college that are essential to making it in the workplace, because in this world, it's not really what you do, it's who you know. And college is a good place to network. You get familiar with different people, places, and cultures, and you just become a well-rounded, cultured person. So again, if you're thinking about going to college, again, I really feel like you should go ahead and do it. I'm not one of those people that feel like college is a ripoff, and I know there's quite a few successful people who have went on to do great things from either dropping out of college or never going to college, but it's just something about having that degree that nobody can take that from you. So nobody. So even if you are trying to become an actor like myself, you could always utilize your degree to work until you get to the place. So when I work certain jobs, when I get my degree, I'm automatically gonna get paid more. I don't necessarily have to worry about getting all these entry-level positions. So if you have any questions or comments about thinking about going to school, or just like, yo, I'm an older person in my mid-20s, late 20s, trying to go to school, and I just want some advice, please leave a comment. Send me a message at ItsGippetto on email or Instagram. I'll respond back, because I just want everybody to get it. I want everybody to succeed, and you can never, never, never deny someone's education. So again, this is your boy Gippetto signing off. Follow me on Instagram at ItsGippetto. If you have a question, email me at itsgippetto@gmail.com. ItsGippetto@gmail.com, and I'll respond, okay? So see you next time. Education is key. Go to school.